watched MSNBC for, and I don't even think it's still on there, was Imus in the morning.
Well, yeah. Isn't he dead?
No,
He's not dead?
he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
No, the fuck he isn't. Don Imus is not dead. If he is, I'm going to be shocked. Because he's like Bill Cosby. Oh my fucking God, he's dead. Holy shit, I had no idea.
Yes, he is. He died in 2019. I just looked it up.
Yeah, so did I. That's why I'm fucking shocked. Wow. Holy shit.
I used to watch Imus in the morning too.
Yeah,
but,
it was decent. It felt pretty good. And that was when MSNBC was new. And
yeah,
people I don't think people today understand what the acronym MSNBC means. It was a merger between Microsoft
right,
and NBC.
Right. I think Microsoft's out of it now.
Yeah,
I'm not 100,
yeah, they are.
100% sure on that either, but I think they are.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because it was supposed to be like more of internet. It was supposed to be on the internet too, like in addition to being on TV and stuff. And I don't think it really is anymore.
Well, that's where, like, for the Imus show, for Imus in the morning, they didn't have camera people. They had all these fucking automated cameras everywhere, and that was the technology that they were showcasing. Was they didn't? It was basically like a self checkout. You didn't need.
Yeah.
But we're already recording, so we can tell people this is a fucking podcast.
Yeah, this is a podcast. We also have breaking news. P. Diddy's in big trouble. The FBI raided his crib just now.
So I heard some rumblings. I hadn't heard that the FBI raided his crib, but
apparently just happened. Literally, I just saw it as breaking news.
What's he been doing?
I don't know. I know they were investigating him for some being connected to some murders.
So this isn't just some R. Kelly shit.
I don't know. I mean, yes, he also had sexual assault things they were investigating, but they were also investigating not that he murdered anybody, but that he may have financed murders or something.
That's actually kind of cool.
There's just a headline at the moment, not a whole lot of actual information yet.
I would like to finance some murders, but I don't have enough money.
I don't think you usually get away with that, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Especially when you say it on a podcast.
Yeah, I think that can be brought into your trial for sure.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to get our outline on our phone. I've done it before, but every time I forget how I do it.
So fucking complicated on an Apple device. God almighty.
Oh, there was something else about Apple devices.
Oh, that Apple's being sued by the FTC.
Oh yeah, there is that, but there was also a major flaw discovered where if you have a crypto wallet on your iPhone, people can steal your crypto.
What?
Yeah, there's some flaw in iPhones.
That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Oh, by the way, am I on the right microphone?
You sound loud and clear, so I'm assuming so.
Yeah, desktop microphone.
Oh, fuck.
Wait a minute. No, that's not right. Hold on. How about now?
Oh yeah, now you're louder.
Okay, that's the real microphone then. You were getting the microphone through their webcam earlier. Got to get my money's worth here. $49 worth for my DJ Tasty Cakes mic.
When I open the Google Drive on my computer, all the docs are in order. When I open them on my phone, they're not.
There should be a little ellipse on the screen of your phone for the page, and the ellipse would be sort by modified date by whatever.
Well, anyway, I found this one. So part of this I made last week. So some of the stuff we can skip if it's outdated and you don't want to talk about it.
That feels like the Jeff Jackson part, right?
Yeah, up to that. Yeah. Well, I slipped the Moscow terror attack because it went with the Russian thing. I haven't seen anything about that. I saw it, where they took over a few towns in Western Russia.
Yeah,
some rebels, and it was in the news last week. Not in the United States. I didn't see anything on any American
I know.
media.
I saw it on
But
Al Jazeera.
Yeah, it was on Al Jazeera, and it was on some German news websites that I saw it.
But apparently these guys had been fighting with Ukraine for a while.
Yeah.
And I have never been able to determine whether or not they were working on orders from Ukrainian generals to make that move, or if they went off on their own and did this. But it doesn't look like they were very successful.
Yeah, I don't know. The last I saw, they had just taken over a couple of towns, and the people there were welcoming them like they did the Wagner troops when Prigozhin made his move through there. The first few towns he went through, they welcomed him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see any updates, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they got crushed or what. So I don't really have much to say about that, other than I had read that they took over a couple towns in Western Russia. And
but these Tajikistan guys that shot up that theater, they have no connection to that at all. And there's claims being made that ISIS was governing them, or was.
Well, ISIS is the one who made those claims.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, ISIS, as terror groups do, they claim responsibility for attacks. But Putin, in his address after that happened, he 100% put all the blame on Ukraine.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it true.
Oh, it almost guarantees it's false.
Right. But it's interesting to note that the United States, and this was in the American media, that they had warned American citizens to get out of Moscow because there was a imminent terrorist attack.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like 3 days before it happened. And
of course, Russia's just looking at that as it was an attempt at propaganda by the West.
Yeah, but you would think that Russia's intelligence services would have pretty much the same information ours do, right? I would, especially inside of Russia. So I feel like it was allowed to happen so that he could blame Ukraine for it to, do whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. What I was confused about, because it looks like they caught all the guys that did this. How the fuck did these guys, one, allow themselves to get caught? And how did the Spetsnaz or whoever it was that were the counterforce to this allow these guys to be caught? Why didn't they just fucking kill them?
Yeah, that is strange too.
And did you see
I'm very surprised they survived, or unless some of them didn't, because they arrested 4 guys. Did 4 guys kill 130 people? I mean, 4 guys with the right weapons can, but did they, or were there more of them? Like, I don't understand. The only thing I don't believe, 4 guys with the right weapon can kill 130 people, but you would think after you kill a certain amount, the remaining people would fight back, and there was enough people in that concert hall to overwhelm 4 people.
It depends who the people are. I mean, a certain type of person will do that, but if you're in an adrenaline life or death situation, all you're looking to do is survive, and doing that might not be fighting back.
Well, right, it's fight or flight, and certain people will do flight, and certain people will do fight. So I would think in a concert hall you'd have enough fight response people, to overwhelm just 4 guys, but I don't know.
You saw the guys getting dragged into the Russian court for their arraignment.
Yeah, I did not watch the videos. You can watch the videos of them shooting people, and I did not do that.
I didn't do that either. I have no interest in that.
But you can if you want to. I don't enjoy that kind of thing, so I didn't watch that.
But one of the translators was saying that one guy they were asking, he was saying that the word's not preacher, but whatever, a fucking religious dude on the radio told them to kill everyone. So these guys don't look too bright.
No, well, they also were said to have done it for $5,000
each.
But that's crazy. ISIS, when they financed terrorist attacks before, it's been hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've paid to make it happen. So that's a little weird too.
They got a deal. It was a buy one get one for dumbasses that day. I don't know how bad I feel about it, but
I hate Russia, but I don't like that civilians get killed anywhere. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. Um, so Jeff
I don't know.
Jackson, go
I know
ahead.
it was a while ago, but I really do feel like we should say "fuck you, Jeff Jackson."
Yeah, he's still got his fucking. He's still making TikToks. He's still talking shit. The thing that I'm taking the greatest pleasure in is I've had several mutuals who have like glommed onto him before all this TikTok shit, and he had this fucking Svengali grip on people where he had really they slicked him up real good and made him look like the anti-politician. And watching those people now fucking realize that they've been had, it's just fucking glorious. I mean,
I saw someone else on TikTok that I didn't vet him, but he claimed to be a former member of the House. And he made a TikTok account just to talk about Jeff Jackson, and he theorized that the DNC approached him and gave him some kind of deal to like fund his attorney general campaign or something in exchange for that vote.
Yeah, because he's not even running for re-election.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but he is running for attorney general in North
Yep.
Carolina. And I think his theory, because he said that stuff happens all the time. And again, he claimed he was a House member, but I didn't type his name into Google, even though that would have been so easy to see if he had ever served in the House, but I didn't do that. But he said that kind of thing happens all the time, where the DNC will offer you help, more help with your next campaign or something if you vote a certain way. And he felt that that's what happened.
He's never admitted that or acknowledged that. He's never touched that at all.
No. He said that he was privy to information that we're not, that was very concerning. But you know what's interesting? The minority leader in that same committee, he voted the opposite way, and he was in those same meetings, and he wasn't alarmed.
It's the usual fucking smoke and mirrors. And the bottom line with it all is that because of Chinese export law, TikTok can't be sold to another company. Period.
Right.
It's not even an option. So they're either going to try to enforce banning TikTok in the United States. I don't know how the fuck you even do that, much less how you would enforce that.
Well, they can very easily get Apple and Google to take it off of their app stores. They can do that.
It doesn't matter.
But I don't know how. I mean, can they get ISPs to block the traffic? I don't know.
I don't think so, because there's so many ways around it. And I think what's going to come from this, because I've seen several lawyers on TikTok setting up class action suits against the government for this. And the basis for it is pretty widespread. And one of those that I really like, and it affects me personally, is it's the United States government infringing on my right to engage in commerce because I make money off of TikTok.
Millions of people do, and that's one of the big arguments.
And tens of thousands of Americans are employed by TikTok.
Yeah, and I mean, just think about when you're scrolling TikTok, how many people you see selling stuff that also do other stuff. I mean, people that I follow for their political content, occasionally there'll be a skit where they're selling something.
Yeah. And you won't be allowed to do that, even if you can find a way around whatever the ban is.
Right.
Because any commerce that's involved with the United States will be shut off. That part they can do. They can prevent you from marketing yourself, because TikTok they simply won't do it. They will drop the TikTok shop for anybody in the United States, period. And that's the part that fucking sucks. I mean, there's a lot of
it hasn't passed the Senate yet, and it may not. So it might not even be a thing.
Okay, so what's the delay for it getting to a vote on the Senate floor? Because that should have already happened.
They didn't have the votes, at least publicly. There were more senators that were against it. Plus, you had Rand Paul saying that he would filibuster it. So
I hate it when Rand Paul does something useful.
Yeah, occasionally it happens.
The libertarians all start jerking off, and it's a mess. Don't like libertarians.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really like government overreach, and that's what libertarians are very much against. But I don't know. They also have other crazy beliefs. But
so let's do 4 and 5, and then let's insert the stuff about the jaundice shit gibbon after 4 and 5. It sort of fits in that way.
All right, Candace Owens got fired by the Daily Wire, the Ben Shapiro media company, and I don't really know what to make about that. I freaking hate Candace Owens. I don't really care that she got fired, but it's interesting because they didn't say why. She obviously didn't know it was coming because in our last show, right before she got fired, she said, "See you tomorrow." Also, she I guess she's sort of known to be anti-Semitic already.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing new about her being that way. Because some people were saying it's because she didn't criticize Palestine enough. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. Don't really care either. I don't listen to anything the Daily Wire produces.
Yeah, and I'm not giving her a pass on any position she has on Palestine, because this feels very much like the half of the United States that hates Joe Biden, but they don't hate Joe Biden for the same reasons I do. We have nothing in common, you motherfuckers.
They don't even know why they hate Joe Biden.
Yeah, it's all fucking make believe for them. And so Candace Owens is the same thing. She has proven herself to be an absolute piece of shit, and until she redeems herself completely in that regard, she can go to hell.
I'm trying to find a tweet. I saw it on TikTok, but I don't know if it was real. But after Candace Owens got fired, she tweeted something. I don't know, but it called back to Ben's comments about WAP. If you remember that.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it called back to that, and she said, I don't know if it was a real tweet or not. I saw a screen cap of it, but it was already a deleted tweet at the time. But it was something about her being drier than Ben's wife's vagina or something. I don't know, but it was funny. But I can't find it again. I saw it on TikTok. It probably wasn't real, but it was kind of funny.
So did she get picked up by whatever Tucker Carlson is associated with? Because I thought I saw him running to her side at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess people thought she was going to just do a show on X like Tucker is doing. But I don't know if that's actually happened.
Tucker. Could you be more fucking irrelevant than Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, I don't see anything talking about. All right, so Ronna McDaniel, who's the former chairwoman of the RNC, she was fired so that Laura Trump could go in there. Laura Trump's not the chairwoman alone. She's a co-chair with some other idiot. But then NBC, huh?
What political experience does she have?
Laura Trump? Nothing. None. She married Trump's son, Eric. I think she's married to Eric.
It's perfect. It's just perfect.
But then NBC decided to platform her for some reason, and they faced a ton of backlash about it.
Let's talk about the hiring of former RNC chair Ronna McDaniel.
Well, she was on Sunday's Meet the Press. It was her first appearance since NBC News hired her as a political analyst. I know you won't be surprised to know that we've been inundated with calls this weekend, as have most people connected with this network, about NBC's decision to hire her. We learned about the hiring when we read about it in the press on Friday. We weren't asked our opinion of the hiring, but if we were, we would have strongly objected to it for several reasons, including, but not limited to, as lawyers might say, Ms. McDaniel's role in Donald Trump's fake elector scheme and her pressuring election officials to not certify election results while Donald Trump was on the phone.
To be clear, we believe NBC News should seek out conservative Republican voices to provide balance in their election coverage. But it should be conservative Republicans, not a person who used her position of power to be an anti-democracy election denier. And we hope NBC will reconsider its decision. It goes without saying that she will not be a guest on Morning Joe in her capacity as a paid contributor.
I'm not sure why they would do that.
Well, but go ahead.
You can find conservative voices that aren't insane if you're concerned about having. So the only thing I can think of is they got somebody looking at it and saying, you know what, there's like 30 to 40% of the country that doesn't watch any of our news programs. How can we capture them? Oh, I know. Let's put a insane MAGA person on our shows.
Yeah, that
had to be what happened.
That's a reasonable assumption. And the point you just made about there being legitimate conservative Republican voices out there is the point that Michaela Brzezinski was making on the Morning Joe show, and she was pretty shook about it. But it's pretty good watching the two of them just absolutely they're kicking back at their employer, and they're trying to be diplomatic about it. But you know, you can only be so diplomatic in a situation.
But I mean, it just goes to show, like, when profit is your motive for everything, you'll do stupid shit like that. You know?
Oh yeah, there's no mainstream news outlet out there whose motivation is anything other than profit. They're all the same.
There's no anything in this country that's motivation is anything but profit.
But that's what, you know, these people coming out of positions with the RNC or press secretary, or that's where these people go. It's a pipeline to the mainstream news sources. And they like who was the blonde chick that was Bush's person for the longest time, and she became a face on
Dana Perino.
Yeah, she was hot. Just saying.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything, but she was hot. But yeah, it's a pipeline from the White House to these news sources, and that should be fucking ringing alarm bells for everybody. Because
sometimes it goes the other way. I remember Tony Snow from Fox became Bush's press secretary. Then he got cancer and died.
Yeah, he fucking deserved it probably.
But
yeah, it's just fucking everything's incestuous. Everything is fucking nepotism. Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about Trump's bond got reduced to 175 million.
Yeah, so I don't really know why. Why is that a thing?
I haven't read the ruling, but they got the.
I tried before this, but I couldn't find a.
But I think what I saw at 1 o'clock today was that that little fucking putz on TikTok calls her Latita. Latita, what's her fucking last name?
Victor. You're talking about Victor.
Yes, that fucking idiot.
Victor Neves. Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
That she had already filed the freezing of the bank accounts and specific other assets. But there was an explanation why she wouldn't be going after things like Trump Tower, because it really has no value. It's tied up in liens already that are just a fucking mess. Everything this guy touches is just fucking rotted fish meat.
Well, one of the big reasons why I don't understand this ruling is just a couple days ago on Truth Social, Trump was bragging that he had $500 million cash.
Boy, I bet you the IRS's ears perked up when they saw that.
So if he says publicly that he has the cash to put up the bond, why the fuck would the judge reduce the bond amount?
Yeah. Or
I don't get it.
Why would the judge set it at that amount and not say, well, how much do you have? What do you have liquid right now? And he would have to come back to his tweet saying, I've got nearly 500. Well, there you go. Pay that. But he didn't want to. He wanted to use that for his campaign.
Right.
So I don't know if they have to be appealing this decision. They have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do that? Wait, this is an appeal already. I don't know. Fuck. I hate it.
Well, it's not an appeal. It's he has to post that to appeal. He
No, no,
can't
no, no,
appeal
no, no.
unless he posts the bond.
No, but it wasn't Engeron that gave him a lower bond. He went to appeal the bond that Engeron is enforcing, and that's where that 125 million
Oh,
decision came from. So I don't know. I would think you could argue against that, but they were probably doing that in that court. You know?
yeah. I don't know. Well, he's gonna get a bunch of money from that merger of his Truth Social media company.
Well, that's gonna be a ways down the road.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that was the argument. Like, I don't have the cash right now, but I'll have it later. Can I just do a lower bond now? I don't know.
But his criminal trial in Manhattan is starting April 15th.
Yep, it'll be tax day and it'll be jury selection day in his criminal trial for the hush money. So yeah, and that was so yeah, he won in one courtroom and lost in another, basically, in his day today. He got his bond reduced, but he failed to, because they were trying to delay the trial more. They didn't want jury selection to start on April 15th.
Yeah.
He is. There lots of stuff happened today that we're talking about. Both those things happened today, and the UN Security Council finally voted to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. I couldn't find the text of this either.
Here's what concerns me about that, because I have a little bit of information that maybe you don't have about this, but it was specific, and we're already 2/3 of the way through Ramadan, but it's a ceasefire for the month of Ramadan, which ends early in April. So it's temporary. It's not what anybody needs.
Right. Yeah.
But I also saw, because
Hamas hasn't agreed to it yet either. They said they need 2 or 3 days to review it. So that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
so
by the time people decide what they want to do with this, Ramadan's going to be over, and then the substance of the act or the bill is going to be null and void anyway. I saw, and I haven't verified this, I'm not a journalist, so fuck everyone. I can say what I want to say. You know how Mike Johnson invited Netanyahu to Congress?
Yeah.
Well,
they're not coming.
Is that true? That's what I saw.
Yeah, Israel canceled it in retaliation for that thing getting passed, which also makes no sense because the United States said that Israel agreed to it.
Well, also the United States abstained from that vote.
True.
But what I saw, whatever Netanyahu's visit was going to be, it was being framed as briefing Congress on the plan to invade Rafah.
I don't know.
That's what I saw.
They already invaded Rafah, didn't they? Or they're bombing it.
Bombing it, yeah.
How about Jared Kushner?
Oh, basically selling beachfront property on.
Yeah,
that son of a bitch.
He said it with a straight face, like, yeah. What Israel should do. That's very valuable land. It's oceanfront.
He said, yeah,
they should develop condos and things.
It's a bit of a difficult. It's a bit of a difficult situation over there right now, but it's an opportunity.
These people are off the rails, man.
How are people not waiting outside of whatever room he's in for him to come out and grab him and draw and quarter him?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I spend all day feeling that there's far too little outrage over this. Far too little. I don't know. For that reason, I don't feel bad that Elise Myers got canceled from TikTok either. I don't really give a shit. I followed her. I found her entertaining, but sorry people were mean to you because you wouldn't, be anti-genocide.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know how mean they were being to her, because all I saw were people posting comments in her posts saying, a 4-year-old child died in a car with the corpses of her relatives on this day. That's all they said. And I imagine there were people asking her to state what her feelings were about this. How difficult is it to say this is awful, stop doing it. Talking about genocide in Gaza.
Unless you're a Zionist, it's easy to say.
That's
So
where this all leads. Is that she certainly painted herself in a brush of complicity with complicitness
we can make up words
with the with the bad people. God, I can't believe 6 months later we're still watching all that continue to happen.
I'm gonna be honest. I start swiping faster through those TikToks when they come up with the new horrible shit that happens because I can't take it anymore. I don't feel like I can do anything about it, and it feels awful watching it happen in real time when you can't do anything. I mean,
I agree. And
I'm sure you saw the one about the grandma that was asking her mom if it was permissible for her to cut off her hand to feed her children or her grandchildren.
No.
Yeah. Is it permissible under Islam for me to remove my hand so I can feed my grandchildren? Was a question posed to a mom in Gaza. That's fucking heartbreaking.
I saw the footage of the individual people. These were not combatants of any sort, walking back to where their homes were to try to salvage something, and there were pinpoint fucking missile strikes against these people. One group of 3, one was one old man stumbling through the street. Pinpoint missile strikes. So they are baiting these people into these open areas.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've done that all along. They've told them here is a safe place for you to go, and then they'd bomb it. When they had the food drops that they finally allowed just that one time,
I know
they killed the people that came. It is. Oh, I don't know. Also, I don't know. There was some discussion I saw on TikTok today. AOC finally called it a genocide and said that it should stop. And someone was like, does she get credit for that? Fuck no. It's way too late. You should have said that months ago.
Yeah.
It's too late now. People have been protesting globally about this genocide for months. You're just now realizing that there's enough people protesting about it that you're going to change your mind and call it a genocide? And she tried to say, well, you can't call it a genocide unless there's proof of intent. I'm pretty sure I saw enough evidence of intent
the entire
months ago.
World, yeah, the entire world has been watching the intent be explicitly stated by the people pulling the triggers in Israel, and it's just that.
I mean, every added voice to call to end it is welcomed, but no, you don't get fucking credit for that.
No,
as an elected official saying it today, it's too late.
No, none of them get credit for it. Not a single one. I'm going to look at the Google News feed real quick and see if there's anything we missed.
I got an interesting thing to talk about. This is lighthearted, but well, I mean, it's not death and destruction. But I know you don't follow sports that closely, so you might not know this story.
I'm sure I don't.
So let me ask you a question. If you're an illegal bookie, right? And you have a client who's a translator for a Major League Baseball team. He's a Japanese translator. Works for a Major League Baseball team to translate for the Japanese players. And he wants to come gamble with you, and he loses, and he loses, and he loses, and he loses. Do you let it get to the point where he owes you $4.5 million?
No.
Okay. You're the same illegal bookkeeper, but your client is now a professional baseball player with a $700 million contract. Do you let him lose till his account gets up to $4.5 million?
Him being the bookie.
Does the bookie allow the professional baseball player with a $700 million contract get into debt for $4.5 million?
Oh, is that why? Is that what happened?
Well, we don't know what happened.
Who are we talking about?
Shohei Ohtani.
Okay, who plays
Japanese
for?
He plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He just signed a new contract. He spent several years with the Los Angeles Angels. He was a free agent this past offseason, signed a $700 million contract with the Dodgers. He has a friend that he's been friends with since childhood that was a translator for him with the Angels and is now a translator for him with the Dodgers. He got fired by the translator got fired by the Dodgers last week because Shohei's name came up, and then there was an investigation into an illegal bookmaker in Los Angeles, and Shohei Ohtani's name showed up on a list of clients, and a $4.5 million payment from Shohei Ohtani showed up to settle gambling debts. And when that story broke, Shohei Ohtani's like management team or whatever came out and said that the translator was the one actually doing all that gambling. And he came to Shohei and said, "I'm sorry, I have a gambling addiction and I lost $4.5 million. Can you help me out?" And that's why Shohei Ohtani paid the illegal bookmaker $4.5 million. That's what they said the day the story broke. The very next day, the Dodgers fired the translator, and Ohtani's team came out and said, "No, we misspoke. Actually, that translator stole that money. Shohei knew nothing about it."
That's convenient.
That's a cover-up in action, right? Now, you should know Shohei Ohtani is the biggest star in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is has been losing popularity for decades. They're losing eyeballs to other sports like football and basketball. And they can't lose him for this. And I should also tell you that there is a precedent in baseball that if you get caught gambling, you get suspended from baseball for life, because that's what they did to Pete Rose.
Well, they suspended Pete Rose. By the way, the whole suspension of Pete Rose is fucking wrong. It should never have happened. But they suspended him because he was betting against his own team.
No, he wasn't.
Well, no, but that's what they accused him of.
He did bet on his own team, but he bet for them. So there was no indication that he was influencing games. But when he was a manager, he did bet on games involving his own team, but not against them, never against them.
Yeah, that whole who was the commissioner of baseball at that point? Bert
Giamatti.
Yeah, that's just a fucking vendetta.
Yeah,
that has been going on. And Pete Rose.
We've had two more commissioners since then. Lots of people are calling for that ban to be lifted.
Oh yeah,
and there's been two more. We're on our second commissioner after Giamatti, Bartlett Giamatti. We had Bud Selig for a bunch of years, and now we have Rob Manfred, and neither of them have reversed that ban. So what do you do with Shohei Ohtani they desperately want the public to believe that it was just the translator and Shohei had nothing to do with it. But information is going to keep coming out, and I don't think that cover-up's going to work. Well, first of all, I don't believe it. You have to believe that a bookie gave a translator $4.5 million in credit. No fucking way. And he makes like 60,000 a year or something like that. Oh, no fucking way. No way. But I would believe a bookie might give a professional baseball player that with a $700 million contract that kind of credit. I would believe that. Especially one that wouldn't want his name, wouldn't want it known that he's gambling. Because that's it's built-in blackmail. You got to pay me or I'll tell everybody that you owe me $4.5 million. So it's a big problem that baseball is going to have over the next few months as more information comes out and the season gets underway.
Well, if they don't hold him to the same standard that they held Pete, because I don't think there's anybody else but Pete Rose that has ever been caught up in anything like this.
Not that I'm aware of.
They're going to have to do they're going to have to go one way or the other. And they're
either going to have to undo what they did to Pete or
they'll find a way to exonerate the pitcher and still keep Pete caged up. Is Pete Rose even still alive?
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay. I really want to see him in the Hall of Fame before he dies.
Me too.
Not fucking posthumously. I hate that shit. But yeah, Pete Rose got screwed, and I've always had that position. I see nothing in the Google News feed that we haven't talked about already. P. Diddy. P. Diddy's in some trouble. Turns out he may be a piece of shit. Allegations of sexual assault and illegal activity.
Illegal activity, drugs, I'm guessing.
I don't even think it's that.
I literally just got a tweet from somebody I follow about crypto stuff, and he just says,
no.
P. Diddy is fucked.
Well, it says a source said the music mogul is the subject of federal investigation after 3 women and a man were interviewed in relation to allegations of sex trafficking, sexual assault, the solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms.
Ah,
yeah, and I saw rap moguls of different varieties pontificating about this today, and they all agree that he's fucked. He's finished. His career's over. I don't even know what he's been doing for the last. Well, now I know what he's been doing for the last 15 years. He's been living a life of crime.
Oh, Shohei Ohtani says he never gambled on sports. He gave a press conference apparently just now.
He's Japanese. He's not prone to lying. I know that's a terribly racist thing to say, but I have to give the guy the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's a cover-up, and it's intentional. They don't want us to know.
But they also don't want him to go down for gambling on sports, because then they would have to go back and address the Pete Rose.
I mean, yes, they don't want to have to address Pete Rose, but Shohei Ohtani is doing a lot to grow the game internationally. A lot. All right, he's not just a pitcher; he's a two-way player. He pitches every 5th day, and he plays first base or left field or something the rest of the time, and he's good at both. There hasn't been somebody like that since Babe Ruth, literally, and they call him like the Japanese Babe Ruth. He's a huge star internationally, so they can't have his name tarnished, because that would crush all the growth that baseball's done. So they don't want that to happen, and I get it, but trying to cover it up and then failing is going to make it worse. They should just come out with a new rule. Oh, you can gamble as long as it's not on baseball, and then
Well, yeah, I mean,
go from there.
Why not?
And then if they just say you can gamble on other sports but not baseball, that even takes Pete Rose out of it, because Pete Rose did gamble on baseball. So you wouldn't even have to handle Pete Rose.
But that leaves Pete Rose where he is what that does.
Yeah, I mean, I want Pete Rose to be unbanned. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. They ban him, but they don't ban all the guys that cheated with steroids.
Oh, yeah, or get arrested for domestic violence and all the other shit, too. It's awful. It's almost as bad.
And again, it's because of profit. This is capitalism in action. When you make more money by having bigger stars, if your stars are in prison or suspended, it's bad for business. So
or getting to the level they are in their sport because of their use of performance-enhancing drugs. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, you want to get be able to commit all the crimes you want, and do kind of whatever you want. Be very valuable to someone else who's richer than you.
Always,
they'll protect you.
Always. Yep. 100%.
When you have a podcast where you just say fuck all the rich people, you kind of get screwed when you commit crimes.
Nobody cares what happens to us. So yeah, go ahead.
Did you see the J-Lo? All right, so I have not watched J-Lo's new movie, but I've seen it on TikTok, like clips of it. Have you seen any of that?
Yes, I've seen the same clips you've seen.
It's cringy as hell, man.
She's such a fucking cunt. She is a horrible person. And I don't think we need to say any more than that. She's just an entitled little brat who
she has a very small echo chamber, and all it echoes back to her is she's great and talented, and she can do whatever she wants. Holy shit.
Yep.
It's kind of funny to watch people calling out all the cringy moments, though. It's kind of funny. I mean, I don't have any reason to hate J-Lo really, but she doesn't affect my life at all.
No, I dislike her because she's proven herself to be an awful person. She has no
Yeah.
redeeming qualities at all. Talent is not a redeeming quality.
No, and she doesn't even have talent. It's been rumored for years that she doesn't even sing her own songs, that they
Yeah.
have ghost singers.
I've been going
Those
back.
rumors get started from seeds of truth, so I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I've been going back. You've seen the Jordan Peterson interviews, the one with that guy that calls himself Destiny, where he's talking about, and Jordan Peterson just goes off on mRNA vaccines, and Destiny, who got his ass handed to him by Norman Finkelstein in a previous exchange about Gaza, basically shreds Jordan Peterson in this exchange, where Peterson's he's a fucking lunatic. He's off his fucking nut. And I've been taking shots from his fanboys lately on TikTok.
I didn't know Jordan Peterson still had fanboys. I thought people realized he was a charlatan.
Oh no, all the conspiracy theorists just still latch to his loins. Anyway, I think we've covered the whole world in 45 minutes.
Sounds good.
That's how we try to plan this. All right, there'll be plenty to talk about next week, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, we got the vote to remove the speaker. Shouldn't that be coming up?
I think so, if it actually makes it to the floor. I mean, I saw Jeff Jackson talking about it, so maybe Jeff knows something we don't know. Fucking douchebag. Oh, but Putin has amended his statement about the attack now, and he's saying radical Islamists. I don't think he can get away from that because that's already been put out in the media, so he's got to change his narrative away from Ukraine.
Yeah.
To the people that he's bombed in Syria in response to this. No casualties, by the way, in those bombings from what I saw.
In Syria?
Mm-hmm.
When did he bomb Syria? Recently?
Yeah, right after the attack happened.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and these were ISIS camps allegedly that had some connection to these Tajikistan guys, but they said very explicitly these camps were empty. Bad intel or
a show? It's just for show.
Exactly.
That's like when Clinton would lob cruise missiles into Afghanistan.
Yep.
Like that's not doing anything. That's just
or
for
bombed
show.
He bombed an aspirin factory in Sudan.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
Anyway. All right, people, we will say peace out for this time and see you all in a week.
Yep. See you next week.
As we come back and according to one viewer, just jerk each other off. But
oh, somebody said that, huh?
Yeah. I got to get it somehow. So it may as well be you, motherfucker. Later.